Good afternoon, ABR-MarketWatch viewers. Let's dive into today's market roundup. U.S. stocks maintained a steady pace but lacked momentum following a pause in multi-day winning streaks. The focus is now squarely on upcoming economic data, particularly GDP, jobless claims, consumer confidence, and PCE figures due later this week. Notably, Lithium Americas stock skyrocketed over 90% after reports of potential U.S. government investment in the company. The overall market mood remains cautiously optimistic, with investors treading carefully amidst resilient economic growth but lingering concerns about the labor market. Fed Chair Jerome Powell's recent comments added to this unease, as he emphasized that asset prices are fairly highly valued and urged a balance between inflation and jobs market concerns. On Wall Street, despite these cautious sentiments, Alibaba rallied on news of a partnership with Nvidia, data center expansion plans, and new AI products. The energy sector led gains, while real estate saw the largest losses. The Dow gained marginally, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq remained flat. Tech stocks declined, with Apple and Adobe falling. U.S.-listed Chinese companies saw growth, led by Alibaba and GM. Lithium Americas share soared after news of potential government investment. ServiceNow, Marvell Technology, and Micron Technology also had significant moves based on analyst upgrades and earnings reports. Oracle slipped due to proposed bond sales. Investors will now focus on the core personal consumption expenditures data, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, later this week. In a surprising turn, new home sales in the U.S. soared by 20.5% in August, defying economist predictions and indicating resilience amidst challenging conditions for the housing sector. Meanwhile, sectors like AI and lithium stocks are gaining traction, suggesting a shift in focus as investors see opportunities beyond the immediate challenges facing the housing sector. In a nutshell, global equities remained relatively flat on Wednesday as investors evaluated cautious comments from Fed Chair Powell about future rate cuts. Elsewhere, defense stocks surged following Trump's favorable rhetoric towards Ukraine. Gold prices dipped slightly due to digesting Fed commentary and geopolitical tensions with Russia. U.S. new home sales soared in August by 20.5%, defying economist predictions. Meanwhile, the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and Nasdaq all saw minimal changes. MSCI's global stock gauge slipped slightly, while the Pan-European stock 600 rose. U.S. Treasury yields ticked up as investors focused on Powell's remarks. The dollar strengthened against major currencies such as the euro and yen, with the U.S. dollar index rising by 0.61%. Crude oil prices increased by 1.5% for U.S. crude and 1.4% for Brent. Bitcoin and Ethereum saw gains of 1.63% and 0.57%, respectively, in the cryptocurrency market. In a surprising turn, foreign buyers have boosted their purchases of U.S. Treasuries this year, particularly in intermediate-dated debt auctions. This trend has helped alleviate fears that investors might exit the market. Japan and the United Kingdom have increased their holdings significantly, with Japan owning $1.151 trillion in treasuries as of July, up from December 2024. The UK's holdings have risen to $899 billion. Despite this, China has slightly decreased its holdings. Amidst these developments, the housing sector remains sluggish with new home sales defying expectations. Meanwhile, international investors are expected to sell moderate to strong amounts of dollars into month and quarter end. The tech giants Baidu and Alibaba continue to rally as Beijing's AI push attracts investor interest. In other markets, lithium stocks are lighting up due to shifting focus on data. That wraps up today's market story, folks. Remember to stay informed and make smart investment decisions. We'll see you tomorrow with more updates from ABR MarketWatch. Until then, happy investing.